This is our June 14th, 2016 meeting. And for those of you who may not have attended a Planning Commission meeting before, let me share a few guidelines about our process. The first thing I'm going to do is ask you all to put your cell phones on vibrate or turn them off out of respect for whoever is going to be speaking. I will call for an application, and those of you who would like to speak in favor of it may come forward. Then those who might be opposed to the application will have an opportunity, and then we'll open it up to anybody else who would like to speak on the issue. When you do come forward, you'll come to the podium. If you would please state your name and address for the record, and then you will address the commission. And when you are done, if you would just pause for a moment and to make sure that the commissioners have no questions before you return to your seat. All right, having said that, our first item of business is approval of the minutes of last month's meeting. Are there any changes or corrections that the commission would like to add? If not, may I entertain a motion to accept them as presented?
So moved.
Okay. All right, so we have, which one wants to take credit? You want to do the motion?
Charles.
All right. Then you'll be the second. All right, because that was a real close tie there. All right. All in favor? Okay. All right, our first application is number 16-20009. It is an annexation request. The owner applicant is Aiken County Public School District and Primary Care Properties, LLC. The location is Hitchcock Parkway at Reinhardt Way. Is there anyone present who would like to speak on behalf of this application? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name's Kenneth Brace. I'm with the Primary Care Properties, LLC. My address is 110 Willow Run, North Augusta, South Carolina. The application is simply to tie two pieces contiguous to move our project forward. I think you guys are aware when I was here about 8 months ago.
Yes.
When we changed the zoning for the piece of property that has subsequently been purchased from Aiken County School Board. It's a 0.24 acre slice that will actually be right along the road and tie those two pieces of property together. The planning department has been considering the plans for our building, and this was one of the requirements, is that we actually annex that sliver into the county or into the city so that we can move forward with the project.
Okay, sounds very straightforward. Commissioners, any questions?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition to this application? All right, not hearing any, it is back to the commission for a motion.
Madam Chair, in regards to application number 16-20009, annexation request, tax parcel number 089-07-05-002, I move that we send this to council for approval.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, all right. All right, we'll call for the vote. All in favor? All right. Well, we have approved this for recommendation to City Council. I suggest that you check with the City Manager's office to see when it will be put on the agenda, and you might want to be present then. But otherwise, that was it. Okay, our next application is 16-50005. It is a city services request. The owner applicant is Erica S. Bush and the owner Deborah Tyler. The address is 198 Gun Rage Road. Is there someone present who would like to speak to that? Please come forward.
My name is Erica Bush, and I'm requesting city services for a hair salon.
Okay. All right. Is there anything other than what is on here that you would like us to know?
No, but I do have a question about the annexation. As I don't know if one's been signed or not, as far as, because it's my mom's property. So would we, I mean, how would we know that? If it's,
Well, that's what we were just discussing before. There is not a good process of doing it now. And that is something that I know that City Council in committee is going to be addressing, and we hope to be able to be speaking to them about it, because we think we do have a legitimate concern with how do you know, and since in this case it is a business, I don't know if you're going to have signage. Are you planning to have
Yes,
some
ma'am.
signs there? What I would suggest, just to be on the safe side, is that you work with the planning department here to understand what our guidelines are, so that you would be in compliance. Should you get annexed, it would be probably a lot easier and a lot less expensive than to try to make a change down the road if it was necessary. That would probably be the safest thing that you could do right now, even though we cannot make that a requirement. But just, you know, and I think the commission would probably agree with that.
And I think if your application is approved by City Council, then in doing so, you are agreeing to the conditions on page 2, which basically say, should people around you join the city, or your next door neighbor decide that they wanted to be in the city, or any of the other houses down the road, if your property ever abuts or connects to them, then you would be required to annex into the city as well. Where you are, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Now, I don't think it's a timely issue for you, but it is just something to think about down the road. If you're going to have a sign, you might as well make sure that it's compliant with, well, I'm going to say the best case scenario, which is that you become annexed to the city.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any other question we can answer for y'all?
No, she actually asked a question that we needed an answer to. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, you're most welcome.
I'm Deborah L. Tyler. I'm the property owner.
Okay,
you.
wonderful. All right. Commissioners, any questions for our dynamic duo here? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, then, is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this request? All right, not hearing any, it's back to commission for a motion.
Madam Chairman, with respect to application number 16-50005, a city services request for the property located at 198 Gun Range Road, tax parcel number 135-14-03-002. I move that we recommend that application to City Council with the conditions of approval noted on page 2, items 1 through 6.
All right,
I'll second that.
we have a second. All right, call for the vote. All in favor? Okay, you have unanimously been approved. We will recommend this to City Council, and you will have to come before City Council again. And you'll have to contact the city manager's office to see when you're going to be on the agenda. I think we've had the last meeting I think we got one more meeting this month, or it might be early August. But they will let you know when it's on the agenda, and then you will come, and they will probably give you an opportunity, just as we did, to ask any questions or state any additional information. Good luck.
Just wanted to ask a
Yes.
question. She does have a picture of the building that she's going to use. Should she include that in the packet for City Council?
Yes, I would amend the package. That would probably be very helpful.
City Council, so after the meeting, you can,
If you'll give it to her, we'll include it in the package that goes to them. I think that would help you. All right. Okay, now our last application is application 16-20010. It's an annexation request. The location is 644 Old Airport Road, and the applicant is HBR Investments of Aiken LLC, Bobby and Allison Hilton. Is there anyone present who would like to speak in behalf of this application? Yes. Okay, this is our evening for tandem presenters.
We were going to bring the little one up here so it would make it even better. I'm Allison Hilton,
I'm Bobby Hilton.
and we live at 239 Newberry Street, Southwest, right here in downtown. We're coming in front of you guys. We do have a couple questions that we want to present because, number one, the piece of property that we are purchasing for use of a softball and baseball batting facility and training facility, it will not be an outdoor cage facility. It is a 5,000 to 6,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. Great location beside Citizens Park. We couldn't ask for a better place.
It is.
But we do have a couple questions. When I've spoken to the city, when they came in to find out if we could get sewer and water, and that was the reason why we would have to be annexed into the city, is because we would have to have city sewer and city water. But what we have discovered is that we can only get city water, and we're going to have a septic for the sewer. Also, I'm not sure, I know to the right of us, which would probably be Citizens Park offices, I'm assuming that they are part of the city. I'm not aware if they are or not.
I'm not sure.
I'm not positive.
I don't-
I don't know if they lease that or,
I think it's leased, but so I don't know that
I'm not
it's.
sure who's in there.
Yeah.
Because I would assume that we would probably follow suit as to if we are, I don't understand how we would be annexed in that one spot and then the city or the Citizens Park offices beside us would be part of the county. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, you
So,
just have to be contiguous on one side, not
Okay.
necessarily either side. You
And
know,
then you're on the front side.
you're on the front side.
we are,
On the front side.
Citizens Park would be across the street from us,
And that's the city.
and that's the city.
And the line comes on this side of the street.
On our side of the street. Okay.
Yes.
So we just want to know, do we need to be annexed or do we not need to be annexed?
Well, that was the policy that we, discussed several months ago, was that, we were going to try to get annexation for requests as long as you were contiguous. If there was property in between, you could apply for services only. But we're trying not to be providing services to people who are contiguous to the city but not within the city. It's best for us to bring them all in. Now, to your other question, I don't know maybe you can help us with why not sewer?
It just may not be available.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. The engineer, we did
Okay.
speak, so it's
Okay.
not available.
Okay,
The most recent council policy on requesting city services, if you are contiguous, whether it's water or sewer, they do require annexation.
yes.
I can check, the property next to it may very well be on well and septic tank, and no need for that, and the city just leased the office space. But to receive whether water, sewer, or both, if you are contiguous, they would require annexation to receive those services.
I'm not opposed to city annexation or not. We really don't have a major opinion on either or. We like living in the city of Aiken, and we would think our business would prosper in the future, being under the city of Aiken. But I think that the big question is, if we annex that sliver of property and the owner of this property who owns, it's an L shape, and he's subdividing it for us, is he going to have to do the rest of his property that runs on East Pine Log?
Not unless he
Not unless he
asks for,
develops
not
that-
unless he develops it and asks
Ask for-
for services.
Right.
Okay.
And then he
All right.
would, yes.
The issue is that you have to make that request for services before we'll mandate.
Understood, okay.
So
He
as
may
long
not
as-
request those city services, he
That's
may have
correct.
some other way.
Well, part of it, since it's L-shaped and that property is vacant right now, you know, he would have no need for water or sewer, but until he develops it, or since he, you know, sold this parcel, unless he sells that parcel and something else would go in there, then because you're in the city, they would definitely have to be in the city as
Okay.
well.
Okay. And then, I guess the other thing, you know, again, we have to close on this property on July 15th. That's the realtor. I think it's July 15th. And we asked for an extension in the event that we have to move forward. Is there any way that we could get our time pushed up to go in front of the next meeting before August? Because I just heard you say that I think the next meeting was in August.
No, I said the next meeting's in July, but
Oh.
they don't always have two meetings. They meet twice a month.
Okay.
Second and fourth Monday, but they don't necessarily meet twice in August as a general rule. July, I'm sorry, July. And so that's why it may get pushed to August, but once we approve it, or, you know, that would be the only time you'd be concerned is of going to council if we approve the recommendation. I think, you know, pending today's vote, I would be on the phone tomorrow morning to city manager's office and saying this has been, you'll be getting this recommendation from Planning Commission, and we'd like to be sure we're on it. Of course, see, early in July, we have 4th of July, that's why,
Yeah.
it's not always two, but
I would just like to close sooner than later so that we
I
can
understand.
definitely
Understand.
move forward. It's a lot of undertaking to go through between now and getting it
Absolutely.
ready for spring season next year.
absolutely, absolutely. But you understand that once we approve it, scheduling the city council is not our purview, and that's why I say call them and just tell them what your situation is, and I'm sure that if they can accommodate you, they will. We're trying to be very business friendly here.
Well, I have ways of being a little persuasive, so I will
Okay.
try to be as persuasive as possible to get in front of them.
Sometimes that pleasant persuasiveness works wonders.
Sometimes it does.
All right, is there anything else that we could answer for you?
Other than the fact that if we're going to use the city water services, we are understanding that we have to be annexed.
You have to be annexed, that's
Well,
it. It's
we're
cut and
done.
dried. Okay. All right, commissioners, any questions for them?
Just real quick, what was the reason for you having to have that closing date? Was there some reason behind that?
We went under contract, I don't know, 2 months ago, 60 days, 45, 60 days ago. That's kind of typical. We wanted to get it done as fast as possible.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was some reason we needed it, that
But
we
the
needed to
seller,
know.
the seller's not gonna back out. I mean, he understands this is a process.
He does.
He's not gonna just, if you don't close it as of a certain date, he's not just gonna back out.
No, we actually have addendums in the closing paper, in our contract that states if we cannot get to this point at this date, we will extend the contract.
Okay, well, you're covered then.
Yeah,
You're covered.
I just
You got
wanted
that.
to get it done. I'm kind of one of those that get it in my mind and move on.
There you go. Well, we can relate to that. Thank you. All right, and there being no other questions then, we thank you, and I will ask if there is anyone who would like to speak in opposition of this application. You all may have a seat.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, not hearing any, it is back to commission for a motion.
Madam Chairman, I would move with regard to application number 16-20010, annexation and rezoning request, that we approve it with the condition here that the annexation be contingent upon the seller conveying fee simple title to the buyers. I don't know if that's really necessary, because if it appears there's no problem with it, but I don't mind putting that in, since that was a condition recommended by the planning department.
Okay?
A second.
Second, all right. All in favor? All right. Okay, that has now been approved for recommendation to City Council. And again, I would suggest that y'all very promptly call them tomorrow morning. There being no further business before us, this meeting is adjourned.